things, they should just step up and be like, yo, they bugging. You know what I mean? Just dead that shit. Like, this is a very transparent place and world in these days. It's very easy to say that's not true. I wasn't at that party. I didn't do what they said I did. And, I remember when I would ask Jay, yo, well, how come they keep saying we beefing? And how come you don't say nothing about it? He'd be like, oh, I don't want to bring no fuel to it. Nah, that brought all the fuel to it. So being silent is sometimes the loudest thing in the world. So I believe if the things aren't true, because I hear the stuff that Jaguar says, and she be on like 10 toes down, like not allegedly. And I've been sued for not saying allegedly. That's why I got this problem I have now with this judgment. I have been sued for not saying allegedly. So the things she's saying, and she'd be like, no allegedly, like no Diddy pause, or like, they be like, no allegedly. I would think that they could shut that down. So I'm curious. Now, I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm saying, yo, well, how come when I say the littlest shit, like I got sued again.
Now, I have to agree with him. And I'm going to try to think out loud to try to come up with a reason on why she hasn't been sued if she's not telling the truth. And again, we don't know if she's not telling the truth because a lot of people are saying a lot of her, whether it's predictions or a lot of things she said, seems to hold a little bit of water because over time we're seeing some of that, apparently. And again, I won't say everything because I believe she had said something about Joe Budden, and Joe Budden, like, categorically said that just wasn't true. Well, a couple things. If we're talking about defamation or we're talking about lawsuits, I would imagine someone would send her a cease and desist, right? Like that would be the first step. Hey, you're lying on me, and you should stop lying on me, or you should issue a retraction and tell the truth, or else I'm going to sue you. Now, the first thing might be, I don't know if Jaguar Wright, we've heard that name a lot. Does Jaguar Wright have a lot of money? Is she wealthy? Does she have a lot of assets? It's, for someone, unless you get like a Cardi B type figure who will sue. And by the way, I don't know if people even look at Jaguar Wright as being more, financially successful than even a Tasha K. When you're like Cardi, you got to have a Cardi B type figure to sue somebody who don't have that much money, right? So that's number one. But that might be worth it if that person's muddying your name, right? Like that's going crazy. So I kind of agree with Dame with that. Here's my sneaky suspicion on why I believe if this is true, and maybe she has gotten a lawsuit threat or whatever, she's just kept it quiet. I don't know if she's ever talked about it. I would imagine if they haven't sued Jaguar Wright, like especially like say Jay-Z, I would imagine it would be to say, hey, the moment we send a letter to her or file a lawsuit on her, it's going to put the crosshairs on us. And even if we do believe, or even if she is lying, it might now just encourage other people to start saying whatever, they have now thought about their experiences with us back in the day. So that's the only thing I could be thinking, right?
By that, again, I don't want to get sued, right? Because they take anything, but.
What has Jaguar Wright said recently? Jaguar Wright. Hey, what? She revealed a list of all the celebrities in the Diddy what?
I believe it's on the tapes. I believe Barack Obama got a tape.
Yeah, he playing hide the hot dog.
I know Jennifer Lopez has multiple tapes.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
I know Beyonce got a tape.
Yeah, she definitely not saying allegedly. She's just saying it.
I definitely know they probably recycled some old Stevie J and Eve stuff. I know Drake got a tape. I know Rihanna got a tape. I know Chris Brown's on one of them tapes.
Jaguar Wright has made explosive allegations against several celebrities, claiming they were involved in disturbing activities linked to Diddy.
Stuff. I know Drake got a tape. I know Rihanna got a tape. I know Chris Brown's on one of them tapes. I know Trey Songz has been like a supporting actor in many freak-off films. Definitely Usher.
Do you think these tapes will come out?
Usher.
They
Oh
don't
yeah.
come.
I think eventually at some point.
In various interviews, she alleged that high-profile names were connected to Diddy's infamous parties, which she described as exploitative and secretive.
I was gonna say, do you believe B2K is on the tapes?
Oh yeah.
Chris Stokes is on.
I mean, if there's Chris Stokes is a whole he's fighting, and Chris Stokes is old school industry pedo. Like, and everyone knows that. I never liked him. I always thought
song came on, right? I'll say this, we were in Bishop Arts. One Drake song came on, and then another Drake song came on. And then when it got to the third one, is this a Drake? Is this a Drake playlist? Could you turn on something else? And she's like, was there anything else? So we got the Beyonce playlist. Yeah, but it had all of the freak off victims on it. Usher was on, like, we were just sitting up there. Who's the next victim on the playlist? And then, you won't break my soul. You won't break my soul.
Damn. Can we talk?
No, it was Confessions. They played Usher Confessions. Confess that Lifetime Achievement Award was a fucking hush payment for your with all of the years of abuse. Cause that wasn't no lifetime. I'm still mad. People say, why you say that about Usher?
There has long been speculation about Usher's relationship with Diddy, with some believing that Usher was one of Diddy's victims, having been sent to live with him as a teenager. However, Jaguar Wright presents a different narrative, claiming that Usher is not just a victim, but a cooperating partner. Wright suggests that Usher helped Diddy gain control over Justin Bieber, facilitating Bieber's introduction to Diddy, which led to a 48-hour period where Diddy had influence over the young pop star. Could Usher's involvement with Diddy indicate deeper connections within the industry?
Usher.
They talk about his.
Usher, I'm tired of Usher.
Oh.
Goofy bitch.
Oh.
Got your asshole ripped open and the only thing it inspired was loyalty? They ripped your ass open. Gene didn't say it. He said, check the records at the hospital. I'm saying it. You got your ripped open. Then you take Justin Bieber from Lily White, Canada, and take him to the Flavor of Fuck Off, the Kitty edition. Get his ripped open. Now everything's coming out, and the first thing you do is run the Bali with another Kitty Ray who works with the man, L.A. Reid, that sent you to the Diddy Flavor Freak Off.
Not the flavor.
Now you got Justin Bieber breaking up relationships and shit. Suck Odell Beckham dick at the club, and the next thing you know, he don't even want Kim no more.
This further complicates Usher's image, portraying him as more of an active participant than a bystander in Diddy's controversial dealings.
All Jennifer Lopez had to do was marry a white boy, Oscar winner, for people to stop remembering that she had a gun in her pocketbook. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night that Natanya was shot at that club. Not once has she spoken up for the betterment of that woman or say something.
It is kind of alarming that, if you J-Lo, would you just shut up or would you be vocal? I think it sounds easy for everybody to say, yo, just speak up, right? But then, obviously, I would imagine some people would fit in this category. You want to speak out to say, nigga, I ain't never pimped no hoes, I ain't never get fucked by Diddy. But then, you speaking up for yourself, then somebody else might come out and be like, yeah, nigga, you didn't partake, but you didn't stop it. You saw me coming out that room crying. You saw when they sent in 10 niggas to fuck me. You allowed Diddy to do this shit. You were there. You were his friend. You partied with him. You saw when he fucking was drugging us or whatever the fuck. So I do think it's more complicated than these people like slanging dick with Diddy or Diddy fucking them and whatever the case is. I think some of these people, you know, also don't want to look like they were complicit.
In her defense, to stop Puffy from gaslighting her and trying to put hits out on her because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still has the bullet fragments in her face like J-Lo has said nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall?
Jaguar Wright has also criticized Jennifer Lopez, accusing her of remaining silent about Diddy despite allegedly knowing about his misdeeds. Wright claims that Lopez had the opportunity to expose Diddy's behavior but chose to stay quiet, fueling speculation about her reasons for protecting him. For years, Jaguar Wright has stood out as one of the few voices in the music industry consistently willing to speak out against powerful figures like Sean Diddy Combs. She has been vocal about the exploitation and corruption she claims runs rampant within the industry.
Now, I gotta admit, it is kind of weird that nobody's fucking sued her. Unless they really think she's that broke. I did see on one of the clips, she had a Cash App link. Like, she had a Cash App link on the screen, but that don't mean you're broke.
Alleging that high-profile figures like Diddy have been involved in dark and unethical practices.
That's why they worked even harder to find a way to silence me. What happens when you're the greatest at the beginning? Nobody wants you to open up for them because you're going to make them look inferior. And you have to be able to headline every show. And if they're keeping your records off of the radio so you can't go #1, so you can't demand marquee player on every tour, then you have to create your own tour. Which means you have to have the independent financing to be able to compete with companies like Roc Nation. See, it's a rat maze. And they have cheese scented little tokens. Except for when you get there, you realize it's just cheese scented. It's nothing real. You're not going to eat there. And they send you, and you go for the next little dot, and the next little dot, and the next little dot, and the next little dot. Meanwhile, they already know those doors do not open. That's how it works. Someone like me is a great danger. Huge danger. Because not only am I outspoken, and not only do I still have the stamina to go at this thing at the rate that I go at it, pushing 50. They're pissed because I won't break. That encourages people to do what? Keep trying. Keep working.
Yeah, of course.
Odell and I are approaching 3 months together. And he went from having a YouTube channel that he had to ask people to go see to now getting comments from a bunch of people he's never met before. He's on thumbnails everywhere. His divorce documents are being discussed. Confidential documents that nobody is supposed to have are now being shared behind members only paywalls on YouTube. Why? What made him pop? Why is he viral?
Hey, chat, you know, I was also thinking, so I have a wild ass theory, but I'm gonna sound way crazier. Like, I'm gonna sound nuts, like super nuts, even beyond whatever y'all think about Jaguar Wright. And I'm gonna tell you where it's got sparked. So for like, give me 5 minutes to explain this. I'm giving you the warning, trigger warning. Put your tinfoil hats on. This is a wild academics theory. No way the rabbit hole, pause, no Diddy, could be this deep, but let's think about it. All right, let's lay out a few things. They said this year, the music industry is in shambles, right? They're saying consumption is starting to change. I just even heard that Columbia Records apparently dropped Fabio Foreign. It appears that rap record labels, or really record labels, don't want to invest in rap artists this year, We've seen what happened to Atlantic. They're now going through a change. It's now turned to Atlantic Music Group. 300 went over to Warner. Now it got consolidated in a whole consortium with Atlantic. We've seen executives go left and right. It appears as if, give me 1 second. It appears as if the record labels are trying to save money by dumping executives, by dropping artists. So they're trying to save money. So when you think about that, then you think about if they're trying to save money because they're probably losing money, who's gaining the money? Now, just follow me down this road. This thought was sparked by this move, right? Because we keep hearing, again, these guys, like, with all due respect to Fabio Foreign, like Fabio Foreign's deal, I think he signed for like, it was like $4 million or whatever the case. Still a lot of money, right? Eve allegedly sold her catalog for between $25 and $50 million. And I said, that's interesting. Now, granted, shout out to Eve, I'm happy for her, But I started looking at it and I said, well, if I start to also think about a few things that's happening in the music industry. First and foremost, you have about 3 big companies that are buying up the rights of all of these people's. They're buying up the rights of all of these people's back catalog in an era where people are complaining about music not selling now. So that don't sound, it's like buying a house when the housing market fucking sucks, right? It's like, how do we make sense of this? Like, what's up with everyone's catalog getting sold? Future sold his catalog last year. Everybody's doing these catalog deals. This blah blah blah. And then I remember what even Eve recently has been talking about the music industry. Eve, music industry. I think she mentioned something like sexual, like basically, like she basically said she felt sexually pressured. I forgot. I don't want to. Eve had recently, well, she said in 2017, she spoke about misogyny in hip hop. Is she in this article? Vice dropped an article. This is 2018. No. Anyway, she was in the news recently, too. I can't remember the name of the articles, but she was in the news. Let me see if I can just go to news industry. I think she said that there was like pressure. Eve. I can't find the exact article. Wait, do I have it over here? I might have it over here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Eve reveals songs that never would have. Okay. Yeah. So she's speaking out about the music industry and the executives, and also, she's been talking about, the misogyny and kind of almost, she was vocal even during the quote unquote first Me Too wave of this whole thing. So this is a rabbit hole I'm going on there. I'm going down this rabbit hole. Maybe what's starting to happen in hip hop is this. You get these 3 or 4 big companies that comes in, and they're almost doing a coup on the music industry. Essentially what they're doing, right? Again, this is all a theory, but if it makes sense, let me know if it does. If it doesn't, tell me why it doesn't. These companies that are buying these people's catalog have no real stake in hip hop. But what have they done? They've gotten to a point where the majority of current acts, like all the current executives, are basically out of here. They got all the executives out. Really, maybe. See, I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole because Diddy just seems like he's a fucking creep. And I feel like I'm making the, he was about to buy CBS angle. But I'm just saying, let's assume Diddy's a piece of shit whether or not he got caught, right? I'm trying to just go down the realm of all of this being set into motion. Everybody's selling their catalog. maybe the way to get these people to start cashing out and sell their catalog, also to kill off the current wave of, what labels have going on, is to expose all of these executives or get them out the way. You got to go to Bali. You got Diddy, you going to jail. The rest of them are now gracefully retired. These niggas worked like 98 years. Now everybody wants to retire. Everyone wants to take a break. Everybody's is running for the hills, while now the artists are realizing that there is no more look. Like I've just talked to an artist who went up for a deal, and the deals that they're offering now are shitty. They're not giving, like, you're not seeing the majority of these guys. They're not walking in these buildings and getting $10 million. It's not happening. So they're getting offered for little to nothing for their talent these days. What's actually the most demanded commodity is their back catalog. So when I look at the companies buying up the back catalog, and then I see the shambles that the current music industry that's continuing the catalog is currently in. They don't want to drop albums. They don't want to sign new artists. The artists they got, they're dropping. And then the executives in the game, they're all coming under fire. They're all silently retiring. They're just resigning. They're stepping out. Diddy's about to go to jail. Jay is like quiet as a church mouse. That nigga is in Bali doing some other shit. But while all this is happening, there's some companies out there dropping big bucks. I'm like, could this be related? Because the current industry is in shambles. But it does encourage people, like, if I'm an artist right now, I would try to get a deal to sell my catalog. Because if you're going to treat your catalog, I know it's your hard-earned work, but if you're going to treat it like a stock, it only looks like, for the foreseeable future, looking at how the music industry is going, if you could get a big check right now, get that check, and shit, maybe later on you could possibly think about buying it back if you really care that much, but it might be worth the highest right now. And apparently these companies that are doing these catalog deals, they're throwing exorbitant amount of money. They don't give a fuck. They're overpaying, supposedly. Like, when you think about what a catalog is worth, it's kind of like a valuation of a company to a certain extent. Okay, what's your revenue for the year? Okay, let's 7x it or like 10x it. And usually that could come up with a valuation of, like, on certain companies, tech companies have certain valuations and other companies have others in certain different industry. With music, that's how they kind of do it. Okay, what is the streams pulling in per year? How much do you own of, whether your masters or your publishing, if they're doing a deal for both? And then they kind of do a 10x or whatever the case is. But from what I'm hearing, the people who are selling their catalog, these companies are going above. So, like, for example, Future got like $70 million or something like that. Apparently, I heard that his catalog was like worth like around $50 million, but they give you the extra 20. So they clearly just want to control the assets. But then I'm now thinking, what are their play? Like, I can't even get it. I don't even understand their play. Is their play just kind of being the bank? But why are they seemingly? I don't know. It feels like almost a coup in a way for some really powerful people to get back control of music, and also in the meanwhile rid themselves of the current crop of labels who, by the way, I don't know if you know, like, so the labels these days, they're the bullies. So every now and then you see labels like, yo, take our music off TikTok or we're soon y'all. And them and TikTok go into a fight, and then basically TikTok has to fold, because if you can't listen to your favorite artist, you can't have their music on the platform. The platform's kind of devalued. They kind of do the same thing to Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora and Amazon Music when they got to come up with these, like 3-year deals of licensing or whatever the case is. And they have to give out equity to these labels. So essentially, what has happened for a really long time over the span of 40 to 50 years is that these record labels have had this monopoly running this music industry. And even though technology has changed how music is consumed, because they have catalog, that's the thing, right? They own catalog. Like, if you wonder why they have so much power, or like why, like, say SoundCloud at first, that's why they failed. They didn't do their deal in time. For places like Spotify, they just gave up ownership. Why do you have to? Because they own the catalog. Well, if there's another company coming in to buy the catalog, doesn't it seem like they're trying to, obviously, not all of these artists own all their catalog or own everything. And also, here's the thing too, somebody like Eve, maybe her rights has reverted back to her because she's been in the game a long time. Regardless, here's the point. It feels like these companies, and this is a wild theory, just to summarize again, the TLDR version, or too long to read? Whatever. Anyway. These companies coming in to buy catalogs, in a weird world, could say, this is our way to buy the industry. We're going to get rid of all the executives. We're going to basically have all these labels in financial turmoil where they got to save money, then spend money. So no more investments. When they stop investing, when Atlantic stops investing in music, they have to rely on their catalog. However, this company is also targeting catalog and they're doing purchases that way. So it almost appears that, you know, they have set fire to the industry, whether putting artists in a place where currently the music landscape is not really progressing. All they got to do is rely on their back catalog. Now they want to sell their back catalog because they're getting offered 130% for what it's really valued. Then also the current labels are all under fire. Their executives are running for the hill, and Diddy finna go to jail. Jay-Z quiet as a mouse. That other nigga in Bali. Shit is going down. You know what I mean? And maybe some nefarious attempt. I don't know. I just thought of that on the fly. Could be false. Who knows?
That was the case, then Set in the West channel should be at 50K subscribers. How? What made him so important that they had to stalk him down? Go through his personal documents, reach out to people in his family, reach out to his first ex-wife, his second ex-wife, encourage ex-wives to get restraining orders against him and me for a thumbnail, hoping to break my bond so I'll go back to jail. It's a lot.
But I have to ask, back in the day, who was your best manager that handled your business correctly back when?
Richard Nichols.
Richard Nichols. And what was it about him that, you know, he got right back then?
He focused on letting me be me. And he only focused on deals that gave to that. He never wanted me to turn down. He wanted me to turn up. He wanted. She talking about Diddy.
A decent report, but Snoop got some answering to do.
According to Jaguar Wright, Wendy Williams was one of the first public figures to expose Diddy's alleged misconduct. Wright says that when Wendy Williams talked about homo thugs, she was talking about Diddy.
Going up cars.
Yeah.
Is he this gangster that behind the scenes that is that him? Or is that
Shout out to Wendy Williams, the first woman to uncover the homo thugs. That's what these
why she say it like that though? Damn.
down low bitch was called when Wendy first started talking about it in the 90s, the homo thug. She talking about Diddy.
And then what's the stuff that's happening with Wendy Williams? You think this is all connection too?
Of course. They've been waiting. He's been waiting. He was waiting for Kim. Remember? He was waiting. The casket was ready. She was literally casket ready.
What that mean?
Some people are saying the whole Wendy Williams documentary that she's pretty much allegedly playing this way to keep herself safe from him, from any unaliving.
It's been working for Orlando Brown. Why wouldn't it work for Wendy?
To play crazy.
Does Orlando Brown even know Diddy?
Why wouldn't it work?
Hey. Hey.
The oosh gosh whoosh wash. Orlando's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
Yeah.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No. I can only...
That he does is a character. Actually, the shit he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
You know? We seen Quiet on set.
Major pain in his ass. Literally. Since he was a kid.
Man.
And then eating milk, running the fuck around, talking about expensive pain in his ass.
Wait, this is Philly you're talking about now. Wait a minute, Jag.
Fuck me.
Wait a minute.
He's a fucking Fruit Loop. He Diddy fried.
This is Philly.
He's a deep fried period. He Diddy fried. He Diddy fried. He the Diddy do-I-bop. Fuck me. Real rap.
You think that audio that they put out was real?
Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
Yeah, he
And Jay-Z were involved.
Fucking Hove beats. Shit, I was just listening to Watch the Throne earlier this week, and that shit was enraging me. Cause I'm like, y'all motherfuckers was living for this fucking album and was Kanye. And then all of y'all made all of this money on this motherfucking dude, and now all of a sudden, who, him? Like he was good enough when you let him slump Just Blaze's fucking whole career. He was the shit.
That's a whole issue in itself.
It was worth putting Just Blaze on the line for, because Just Blaze was Rockefeller production until Kanye.
Yeah.
Who's Just Blaze producing for now?
That I don't know. Who is? Yeah, I'm about to say that I don't know. And he was the movement.
Where is Just Blaze?
Yeah.
I mean, he was making Hove's beats. You got Tidal. You're a billionaire. Where the fuck is Just Blaze?
Okay.
Oh, this about to get fun for me.
Yeah. Let me add.
There's nothing like. Have you ever seen what happens to a rat when it's trapped in a heated environment?
It'll eat through anything.
Claw eat its way through anything. So I want y'all to imagine this. I got Jay-Z on his back with his stomach exposed. Diddy is the rat that I'm using. And I'm gonna take a metal trash can and put it right on Jay-Z's stomach with Diddy right in there. And I'm gonna heat that bitch up and see what he eat through. Fuck you, Sean. Both of y'all. I got you, bitch. I told you.
Another person Wright has called out is Stevie J, a music producer closely associated with Diddy. Stevie J has publicly defended Diddy, claiming that he has never committed any crimes. Wright, however, sees Stevie J as one of Diddy's enablers, helping to protect his image despite being aware of the darker side of his actions.
See, that's another thing too. I think Stevie J is trying to be a good friend. This is assuming that he's not involved in any of this fuck shit. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If we're now thinking about co-conspirators, it appears that, you know, you're gonna look at who's standing by this guy, who was with him, who used to hang out with him throughout the eras, and shit, Stevie J better be careful.
Is Stevie J genuinely unaware of Diddy's alleged crimes, or is he complicit? Wright also claims that Diddy played a direct role in the conflicts that eventually led to Tupac Shakur's murder. While these claims are highly speculative, they suggest that Diddy's influence extended into orchestrating or being involved in harmful feuds between rival factions in the hip-hop world. Could there be more hidden connections between Diddy and Tupac's murder that the public isn't aware of? Wright describes Diddy as a powerful figure who has maintained his success and public image, despite allegedly being involved in a wide range of criminal activities. She portrays him as a manipulator who uses his influence to control those around him and silence dissenting voices. How has Diddy managed to preserve his image despite these long-standing allegations? Jaguar Wright has linked Diddy to R. Kelly, suggesting that Kelly was one of the first to engage in exploitative practices within the music industry. Wright claims that before his arrest, R. Kelly was connected to Diddy, and Kelly himself has stated that he wasn't alone in his actions. Wright implies that Diddy may have been part of the same toxic culture that led to R. Kelly's downfall. Jaguar Wright's allegations against some of the most influential figures in the music industry, particularly Diddy, present a chilling narrative of corruption, exploitation, and secrecy. Through her numerous interviews and statements, she paints a picture of an entertainment world where power is wielded to control and manipulate, often at the expense of vulnerable talent. The allegations include a range of serious claims, from inappropriate behavior at Diddy's infamous parties to the exploitation of young artists like Usher and Justin Bieber, and even conspiracy theories surrounding the deaths of key industry figures and musicians such as Tupac Shakur and Kathy White. One of the most striking aspects of Wright's claims is the depth of complicity she suggests within the industry. This creates a troubling image of an industry where success and fame come with an unspoken price, and silence or cooperation is the currency by which individuals maintain their careers. Wright's allegations present a complex and disturbing portrait of the music industry, where power is wielded to exploit and control, and silence is maintained.
All right. Well, I feel like every day we give a new type of variation of saying Diddy's cooked. I actually do believe that some of these situations are gonna. I'd be so surprised if the feds aren't gonna reach out and be like, "Hey, let's talk to all these people." Okay, Diddy forced you to suck his dick in a bad boy's office. All right, there was a visitor log. We'll go get that. Did he have an assistant there that watched this? Did anyone else witness this that we could kind of corroborate? Because, obviously that's the biggest thing I think with this lawsuit, or not lawsuit, this criminal case. They definitely would like what would definitely sink Diddy is 100% him having some minors on some criminal stuff.
Maintained through fear, complicity, or direct involvement.
Do you know what? You know she's part white.
Yeah.
She's a Rothschild. The Luciferian motherfuckers that co-own YouTube, that are friends with the monster, Leroy Cohen, that mentored and bags Jay-Z. Camille is a Rothschild. Y'all didn't know that.
All right, Jaguar Wright. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little bit shocked, like with Jaguar Wright. I don't know whether to believe her. I don't know if sometimes she's just kind of like yapping, or she's actually just telling the truth on like a sinister type of way. Now, here's the thing, and let me add myself into this. There are people, because do y'all consider me to be a part of the industry? I guess I am, right? I guess I always looked at, like, I feel like I affect the industry, right? Which I guess by in turn means I'm in the industry, but I don't really know these guys. Like, I know a handful of people. I've never met Diddy. I've never met Jay-Z. Like, I seen Jay-Z at Kendrick's concert when everybody kept looking up and he was wearing white and like, hey, that's Hov. And I'm like, oh, okay. I've never met him. I haven't met, actually I met 50 Cent. I met 50 Cent. 6ix9ine had me meet 50 Cent at a club out here in Jersey. Never met Drake. I don't know if I'm in this industry, but I guess I don't know, whatever you want to say. But here's the point I'm making, right? Okay, let's say I'm in this industry, right? I think what no one wants to like admit is that I think why most people don't know, I don't think everybody's lying. I think some people are being quiet because they were involved. But this is my question for Jaguar Wright. How the fuck you know all this if you wasn't getting fucked? Like, she knows a lot. Here's the thing. I never knew none of this because I'm not, like, again, I never been in them rooms. I never was the fly on the wall. I wasn't at them tables to discuss the freak off from last night, or, you know what I mean, even getting invited to the party, outside the party, off the party, off the party, off the freak off. Like that wasn't me. But how did Jaguar Wright? Like, Jaguar Wright seems to know everything. Was she getting fucked in the freak offs? Like, that's my only thing. Like, I do believe that this shit, the reason why everybody wants to be quiet and act like they don't know nothing is because if you do know something, it's kind of like you was involved, because I don't think they were bragging about this type of shit. Like, I be even watching shit. I be watching Joe when he talking about, and by the way, I believe Joe, when he talking about Diddy or even Charlemagne, and I don't know how well they know him, but they, I see them do mad interviews with Diddy. I thought they were decently cool. Remember back in 2017, it was like, yo, let's bring you and Joe to Diddy, or like to Revolt, really. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, well, tell them to holler at me. I thought these people knew Diddy. So, like, everybody looks startled now. They're like, what? Diddy was doing. So, maybe that's just, and I think that's genuine a little bit. Like, if you weren't in, like, this wasn't, I think the rumor that a lot of people heard was the gay rumor. Like, yeah, Diddy gay. Like, that's the rumor everybody heard. But I do think maybe some of this, like, baby oil, lathered up, freak off, fuck my girl, male prostitute shit, I think that might have been a well-guarded secret, that if you didn't have, like, a freak off card or you weren't a part of those festivities at one point, you wouldn't know. And even then, it appears that those people probably didn't even go running their mouth, because I'm going to be honest with you, the amount of shit I'm hearing now is like, nigga, yo, I'm going to keep it a bean with you. I don't think you, like, even in hip-hop, there's no secret no one keeps even for like 3 months. How the fuck did y'all keep this for 25 years? Like, how does that work? How does y'all keep the secret for 25 years?
Did you?
Well, now, Dame Dash also spoke about if Jay-Z was next.
True fact. And why, even with TMZ, the headline isn't like the state is questioning and calling, they're basically calling Jay a liar.
There we go.
I didn't file it a long time. That's the reason why. And I don't want to have this be a distraction from the seriousness of the things that we're doing. And that's the reason why the shit they're saying is nuts. Pause.
Right.
By that, again, I don't want to get sued, right? Because they take anything. But Josh Weber, the dude that's pretending he directed a movie I directed based on my personal account. And so I'm like, yo, how come nobody's suing these people? Why won't they just say nah? Like, I'm not calling out no names, but we all know that the shit they're saying is nuts. Pause. It's so that I can't even, it's nuts. And not just for Homeboy, for everybody. So I'm hoping the stuff I'm hearing isn't gonna happen. I'm hoping that the stuff I'm hearing isn't true. I don't want anybody to be that dark. I don't want another blow for hip hop.
And he's about to talk about Jay-Z, I believe. And I look at him like, yo, Dame and Jay-Z were like this. Like, bro, I mean, like, you don't think you'd be able to, maybe not after y'all split, but like, you should be able to vouch for Jay a bit. Not like saying you were there every time he pulled his dick out, but it's like, nah, yo, I was with Jay for this amount of time. Like, I knew what type of guy he was. He wasn't a guy that was into blah, blah, blah. Him not even being able to say that kind of tells me, man, there's mad secrets in this, like, entertainment game.
And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm very curious to know who was at them parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone was there. I'm not going to even hold you. Like, I can't pretend I don't want to know. But I'm saying, DiCaprio, and I can tell you stories about that dude later or at another time, but he came out and was like, yo, I don't, he said something. He did say something. His press, whatever they wanted him to say, he had a statement. So I want to know why there's no statement from all these, like, the shit they saying is unbelievable. It's crazy. It's nuts. Pause. And I've never seen, like, my legacy has never been compromised in that way, where people are making, the cartoons. You see, this like dark cartoon that'd be on. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Just the fact that it's being said, it's the same thing. Like, I'm sure people want to know between me and Homeboy, yo, why are y'all beefing? He's never explained that. He's never said like any of those things. So I just think in this day and age, based on the accusations that happened, not just him, everybody should just, I did. When they said that those parties with me and Aaliyah and Jennifer Lopez, yeah, bro, I was at a party with Aaliyah, Jennifer Lopez is on the pillow, Natani's on the pillow. I'm going to be on that pillow. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's talking about this picture right here. Diddy freak off picture, Jennifer Lopez, Aaliyah. This is the picture right here. What the fuck? Oh, nah. Why was there always like mad beds at this nigga's parties, bro? No, these were the white. Oh, yeah, these are the white parties. Is this? Oh, yeah, here we go. You got Dame Dash over here. Dame right here. You got Aaliyah right here. J-Lo right here. Is this Andre Harrell? And I don't know who this is. And apparently it was a white party. But Diddy got on red. I guess he was just trying to let y'all know y'all booty hole finna bleed when he fuck y'all. Damn. Okay.
I'm saying, but not next to no dudes. And then I'm out. But I addressed it. I'm transparent. Like, you could ask me any question. Like, I say no, and you could ask me why I said no, and I'll explain it to you. You could challenge me. But at the end of the day, if I'm expecting you to consume the things that I'm doing, my products, I do believe that you deserve a certain degree of honesty. Like, why do we all have to wait? I don't want to wait. Just tell us what happened. Or tell us it didn't happen. See something. Not just y'all, anyone that's being accused of that shit, bro, because we definitely want to know. The whole world wants to know. But when people start resigning and people start erasing their Twitters, then it just starts to look suspicious and, it makes people ask questions.
What do you think is the best way to handle these situations, Chad? Like, seriously, right? Now, obviously, I think there's a mountain of situations that now is just making, it's just starting to look spooky, right? Like, for example, when somebody was even trying to threaten me with some stuff, I just came online. I just say, yo, listen, here's the story. Obviously, I can't keep saying the story because I got lawyers and shit, but it's like, yo, this is what happened. Nigga, I'm innocent, but nigga, I'm not going to just sit back and act like it's not, like this isn't a thing. Now, some people might be like, that's dumb. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a catch-22. Like, if you address it, some niggas are going to say you look more guilty. If you don't address it, you definitely look guilty. If you break down anything that happened, you might hurt yourself later in court. If you stay silent, you look like you're hiding. So I don't know, nigga. But I do think a simple, yo, them bitches are lying. Like, that tweet alone, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. Trust me. Like, I don't care how much I'm paying a lawyer. I reserve the right to get that off. Them bitches are lying. Like, I reserve the right to at least say that. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know if I could, but that might be different for me, though, right? Because for me, it just feels preposterous. I had to, I talk a lot. I talk every fucking day of my life. So I'm going to be the first to talk about it. You feel what I'm saying? If everybody else can talk after me, but I'll talk first. These guys aren't that public. They're public figures, but they don't have to do an interview. They don't have to field inquiries about their personal life. So they could just kind of, I know one of these people, this motherfucker been on a 6-month vacation. Y'all know, like, the industry, everybody's taking the longest vacations now. It's like they're just waiting, like, God damn it, I'll be back when this shit is over. But that's their way of kind of getting out of having to say anything. And not necessarily that they're guilty, but they might just, they might have been all at these parties. They might have seen when, like, do you think that only the people that came forward seen Diddy slap a girl? Or seen Diddy try to do blah, blah, blah? Probably other people seen it, but niggas is probably be like, you know what, as long as my name don't get mentioned in a lawsuit or a criminal proceeding, it ain't none of my business. And I know that's gonna sound crazy because you would hope that if you're seeing some crazy while, maybe non-consensual sexual shit going down, you probably would want to be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Cut this out. But you do know it's like somebody gets shot on your block, your mama gonna tell you, nigga, go back inside, it ain't none of your business. Right? You just try to mind your business because you ain't trying to get caught up in nothing, right? So I don't know if that's what it is, or perhaps these niggas are shitting bricks because they were involved in the fucking parties. Like, I would love, I think I just seen Fabulous do an interview, or he went live, and I was like, yo, Fab, you know what we want you to talk about, right? Fabulous interview. I just seen something. It was like in a car or something. No, he was on live, I think. Oh, no, he's just on Carmelo Anthony's thing, and I'm like, yo, bro.
Yo, this crate.
Like, nigga. You know what we want to ask you, right? Bruv, when Diddy said, yo, why you don't want to party with me, Fab? And you said, I do party with you. Did he? And he said, nah, man, I'm talking about party. What the fuck did that mean? Diddy, are you a victim? Like, I'm like we gotta ask these questions. Yo, this new lawyer said there's 60 men. What in the fuck?
Conversation.
No.
I'm glitching in here. If you have a,
yeah, I don't think he's talked about that. And by the way, he might just not want to talk about it. Not necessarily because him and Diddy's cool, right? Not that him and Diddy's cool, but he might just be like, yo, listen. It ain't my story to tell. But then, shit, he might be shitting bricks because if he did party with Diddy and he ain't do nothing wrong, or he was a victim himself, man, a woman might have been like, Fab was there when I was getting abused. He ain't stop it. He was watching, laughing like everybody else. While Diddy was having 20 male prostitutes fuck me in front of a group of people. I don't know. I'm making that up, clearly. So, I don't know. But, I don't even think we've heard even an inch of a statement from him. Pause. Like, yo, I don't rock with the things that are being alleged, or shit. The things with this industry, you don't know if you want to attest for somebody's character, because I keep saying that the majority of people in this game aren't friends. They're like industry friends, which ain't real friends. They're friends of opportunity, time, space, and clout. So if those things don't align, they're not hanging together. They're not the person you call when you're sick. They're not the person you call to come over to play 2K. You only link up with these people at these big events. You see them at award shows. You might work with them from time to time, but they're not coming over to help you put up a fucking, chandelier in your crib. They're not helping you do that, right? Like, these are Hollywood friends. And you might think you know them, but you don't know them. So maybe that's where Fab is like, man, I don't know that nigga like that.
a fan base or curator.
Yeah, he didn't really say nothing there.
Yeah, let's go back to the work for hire. And how you feel about people saying that you always
like talking in the form of suing people. This is what business. This is going to be the lesson of the day. Applicable. They're $10 million short. Headlines. I want to make sure y'all don't look and sound stupid. And I know that call out. They're like, why you calling it Earn Your Leisure? Because it's supposed to be a business. I personally, you put them with Budweiser. We supposed to be promoting champagne. You laughed. I know you paused, gave him the banana in the tailpipe. The niggas just.
Now, what Dame Dash did say is that he felt that Steve Stout coming out and talking about his teeth falling out this and third, he was sent by Jay-Z. Listen to this.
And in my conversation with Steve, like, yo, I don't play like that. But she is Puerto Rican. That's that happens at that age. In that conversation, I was like, because he was kind of trying to talk somewhat, was not only lie, pause.
And something about you ran when you saw him, something like that. Can you jump in on that?
Well, he's talking about Steve Stout.
The last time you interviewed me, I hadn't seen all the things that Steve had said. I never watch his interviews because I just think he's dumb. And I think he's just a guy pretending that he's smart. But when I did see that, to be honest, it was laughable. But when I thought it through, it was really pathetic to me. You know, like where I'm from, pause. One of the biggest violations in the world.
Yo, where I'm from, pause. Like, yo, this guy, man.
Pause is lying on your dick. And that means that you say you did things with a girl that you didn't do. Another thing that's in that order is lying about getting your ass whipped and about a fight. It's one of the most unhonorable things to do. Like, when someone takes a loss, to say, yo, he caught me, he just seen. So, because he brought it up, I think in this day, transparency is key. There's no reason, because of this direct connection that you can have with the people that are your fans, that consume them. That's why when they say things about that I do, I'm never going to be ashamed of. Steve Stout. You know how, like, the cartoon where the ostrich puts his head in the floor when he feels bad? That would have been me forever, running from Steve Stout. The reason why I smacked him in the first place was because it was like, if he catches me and then I beat his ass, pause, they're still going to tease me because it's Steve Stout. But because he wants to bring it up, I'm going to tell you the story. Let's start with the first lie. He said that we ran into each other in a Sony office or whatever it was. We were at Rockefeller at my office. And Jay was sitting behind my desk. He always wanted to sit behind my desk, pause. But Steve was with him. My brother Bobby was with him. And my cousin Darren, was with me, or rather in the office. And my cousin Darren was in the office. That's about 3 people. Could have been 1 or 2, and my son. And Steve Stout was trying to throw a party with Jay at the Hamptons. And I was like, we're not throwing a party with you, you corny. You know, you were running around with Nas when we were kind of like beefing with him. You were running around with LL. And then I guess when things went sideways, you just decided to tell us all their business. And that's what he used to do. And I always thought that wasn't honorable. And now that we rolling, you want to do a party with us? Hell no. And in that conversation, I was like, because he was kind of trying to talk somewhat aggressively, I was like, yo, and you owe me $18,000 for that bet. And he said something cute in front of my son. So I'm like, yo, you can't be ass betting me, pause, and you definitely can't be talking crazy in front of my son. He said something else slick, and I hit him with a left hook, a slap. My intention, again, was not to hurt him. It was to let him know, like, bro, that's just disrespectful. And where I'm from, if I let you walk away talking to me like that in front of my son's going to look at me a certain way, and everyone in my crew is going to look at me a certain way. You're going to have to beat my ass, pause, today. I had a broken foot, and after I smacked him, all he said was, did you just smack me? And he had just got sued by Puff. Or rather, he had just sued Puff for hitting him in the head with a bottle. What? So where I'm from, because, again, I didn't look at him so much as a civilian because he wasn't hanging around civilians. So where I'm from, if somebody hit me in the head with a bottle or whatever, then I got to get that back, at least at that age. I would have to there has to be some kind of a recourse. But the one thing I'm not doing is going to go to court, testify, and do all those things because at that point, I thought that was snitching. So I would always call him a rat and a snitch when I would see him on a red carpet. Yo, you a rat. And, I just didn't like that. So after I smacked him, I just believe that from then on, because he didn't fight back, number one, at that moment, I felt like he was a coward. You let a man smack you, not even punch you in your face. I open hand slapped him. I didn't even want to hurt him. I just wanted to let him know, like, bruh. And I did it in front of Jay-Z because he thought because he was with Jay-Z that Jay-Z would protect him. Jay-Z didn't do anything but laugh at him.
Oh, shit.
And the crazy thing about it was because he had cracked Puff in the head with the bottle and sued him, everybody in the industry knew about it. I remember that Kimura threw a party and they were just like, you're so hot. How did you you know, Puff came up to me and was like, yo, how did you do that without getting sued? I said, yo, you got to smack niggas. You can't be hitting niggas. But at the end of the day, he told on somebody that, again, they had an altercation and they're still friends.
By the way, this must have been the 90s. Do not do that. We just seen Quavo get a judgment that he has to pay $700,000 for a slap. So a slap, a punch. Do not put your hands on people if you got money these days.
Now they take pictures together. I guess they're brothers. You don't take your brother to court. So that was always my issue with him. Like, yo, I'm not running around with nobody that would testify and all this other shit and whatever. So that's the reason why that happened. You're not going to disrespect me in front of my son. Now, the other thing that he brought up was that he ran into me with Raquel by himself, and he stepped to me. Now, Raquel's my girl. She's here. I don't know where she went, but when she comes back, Rocky. And I had just put out a Currency album, right? My first Currency album with DIDDY 172. I had a gallery that they don't talk about, DIDDY 172 in Tribeca. And I lived on Northmore Street, and he lived down the block on Northmore Street. So we both lived in the same neighborhood. And I was telling my crew, like, yo, when you're about to evolve, there's a test that happens. And, you know, when it's going to be something that...
I thought he was about to talk about that boiled egg test, y'all.
Never comes up, and you have to pass that test, or else you won't get your dreams, and you'll start from scratch, and this whole thing. So I'm walking, and all of a sudden I see Steve Stout in a dark block. And again, my history with him is, since I've smacked him, he's done every underhanded, nerdy thing that you could do to try to salt my career. L.A. Reid himself told me, like when I would read things in the paper about Jay and I, he'd be like, Steve put that in the paper. Steve put that in the paper. There's no allegedly about it. This is what L.A. Reid told me, right? So, this is that day. I'm walking up the block. And I see Steve, he's not by himself, he's with a girl. And I'm with two girls, I'm with Mackenzie and I'm with Raquel. And anyone that was a part of the gallery DIDDY 172, they know Mackenzie, but there were witnesses. He was with his girl, or a girl. I don't know her name, she was short hair, arms out, dark skin. And I'm with Mackenzie and Raquel. I walk past him, I'm starting to walk up to him. And Mackenzie goes, Damon, don't forget about the test. You just told us about the test. So I'm like, damn. So I walk past him and I'm like, you bitch ass nigga. And what he said was, yo, I thought we took care of you a long time ago. And that triggered me. And I was like talking to his girl, like, yo, you know you're walking with a rat. He told, he's a rat. And he kind of looked like he was gonna come at me, and Mackenzie just started decking him. Not Raquel. Mackenzie. She punched him in his face a good 6 times with the bag in her hand. Boop, boop. And Mackenzie is a girl that really has hands. I never knew she could fight like that, but she could fight. And she was hitting him, and he was looking all, you know, stupid in the face and dizzy. And the girl with the short hair grabbed Mackenzie, and Mackenzie says, yo, you better get your man, bitch. And by the way, this is a white girl. And Rocky's Puerto Rican, by the way. And I say that to say, because I hear people say she's white. If she was, it'd be all right, but she is Puerto Rican. So at that moment, he turns the other direction, and I'm looking at Mackenzie because I know she's gonna hit that girl, but he looks at me and I'm like, I'm about to knock his whole face off. Like, I've been waiting for this. And people that know me, like, you know, there's mad stories of me fighting 30 people at a time with mace, and just not Mace the rapper, people macing me. And like people begging me, like, dang, we gotta get out of here. And the running thing just, let me see. 9-0. Disrespect me and say I do everything everybody else does, and I put up my own money. So I can't be running in front of people, I can't be running, period. I couldn't live with myself if I did that. But Rocky, she didn't want me to hit him because the police were around at the police station. Okay. He abused the woman, he f***ed that up. He looking all dumb, and then the police came, and I was laughing like, why? Okay. And he probably didn't want, it to get out in the that story makes him the lowest scum. I confided in him that I was signing Clue, and he went in the room. I walked up in, right, you know, the first time I saw you was a picture of you with lipstick and a wig on from Biggie Smalls' crew, and you still work with them, and you still have. They try to divide us all the time. And United Masters, you went because I'm the one that told you and everyone else in the industry that an artist should own their masters and be screaming his accolades. What's the reason for that? It was him and all the dudes in the weirdo crew. And now they the weirdo crew to me because I know weird shit be happening. I suspected it before. Whether it's legal or not, it's weird. I don't want to be in business with people that do weirdo shit at all. And he's one of them. So, you know, I think he got that story confused with the 10 dudes. The question is, I'm not the only person that's had these different kind of altercations with him. Like I said, when I realized that people really didn't like him, it was ridiculous.
You mentioned Jay-Z, hold on.
Trial for it. Like always talking about Dame. Oh, because he smacked him. Oh, because he ran make it business. The problem with a guy like Steve Stout, he's very reflective of the way a lot of the industry is. People in the music industry are not talented at anything. I'm broke. I'm not Freeway right now, a rock and roll album, and you say, so you have no artistry in your body. I got a brother. I saw him, he was looking so scared, but he did that. I personally can't just say something. You have to have something to support, some data to support what you say. You know, everything I say, I'm gonna say and have data.
All right.
Child support thing. Let me explain it to you. 6 months. Just an application. Don't get caught up. Say America knew, so I know you're not a young in the street. I've seen people get killed. I want to hope that that's the worst that he's been doing. With Puff, I heard about Herb having a stroke. I genuinely, he's a cool dude. Brother, man, it's like one of those, like, yo, he was telling me about Herb, and I was like, you know, the way they glorify violence, but like, and again, I'm not glorifying this, but you know, as a young, why life leave a person? You not glorify it. It's the same thing, like, watching what's going on with Puff, it doesn't feel good. I don't want to see someone that maybe we had like a bullshit disagreement where I don't want to see them die or be tortured. I'm not going to celebrate the pain of anybody, any human.
All right, I can't find the part. We were talking about Jay. Anyway.
You know, allegedly, Paris Jackson tried to commit suicide recently.
But she denied it, right?
She denied it, but TMZ's still running with the story.
Fair. You already know this young girl's going. Hey, now, like, she was trying to get help and all that stuff, and then she did, you know, like, that's laying on your heart that you were part of the process of this young lady killing herself. Like, everything ain't got, that to me, and like, clearly they didn't want that information.
Image is like the stupidest thing ever. This is all good.
And more than anything is like, we're in the hip hop community and stuff like that. And I just from a fan, I was like, my understanding, Foxy got signed to like, and it got intense. Sit around and I act like there wasn't young girls that, you know, were in the hip hop community and stuff like that. And I just from a fan, I was like, my understanding, Foxy got signed to like 15, 16 years old. And the first time I had heard of her was on the Ain't No Nigga record and you, this all speculation and rumors. We don't know if it's true, but I'm talking about as a fan outside looking in, and that's why I had Dame in front of me. I was like, how old was she when y'all was in the studio? Like, was anything going on? And if he would have just said no, I think he was like, oh, I see what you doing. Oh, you funny. Like he was playing it up. But I'm just like, there's probably 5-10 other artists and females that are around that were teenagers. That's why I said there's cats now that the reason why ain't nobody speaking up because everybody been condoning this bullshit in hip hop and film and television and sports. There's young teenage girls around grown ass fucking men all the time.
Yeah.
Quote me. Like I see it, and it has to stop.
I agree.
Like I don't care if you're a billionaire now. I don't care if you married now. Like if we gonna call out everybody we calling out, then everybody got to come to the table. If you fucked a 15-year-old, I don't care who you are, you gotta.
Well, remember Tiger was with Kylie when she was a teenager.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you fucking 15-year-olds and you a grown ass man, there's something fucking wrong with you.
Let's just say Kylie wasn't 15 years old. Because I'm not trying to get any more lawyer letters here.
I don't know, but I'm just saying individuals. I didn't say anybody's name because these lawyers be calling me every day. But if you're a grown ass fucking man and you're fucking a 15-year-old, you're sick.
Right. Well, after the interview with Dame, 50 Cent, you know,
he commented as he does.
Interesting. It's kind of odd, man. All right. So, to kind of wrap that up, by the way, we're getting some breaking news on Rich Homie Quan. Rich Homie Quan allegedly died from a fentanyl overdose and other drugs involved too. The toxicology report clearly has came back. They're saying he died from a toxic mix of several drugs, including fentanyl. TMZ has learned, according to the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. In Georgia, the late rapper died from a combination effects of fentanyl, alprazolam. Is this Xanax? What the fuck is this? Is this Xanax? I've seen like this medical name, but there's like a street name for it. What is this? Yeah, it's Xanax. It is Xanax. Okay. So my boy was on fentanyl. Well, I guess no one takes fentanyl like straight up, right? Like no one's like, yo, let's get the Fenty. You know what I mean? Like I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but fentanyl is a thing that is very potent and very lethal if you just digest it like directly. But if it's used to cut these other drugs, especially pill type drugs, it could, you know, even if it's weaker, it could make that drug hit a little bit harder. So people use small doses of fentanyl to make already like whether ecstasy or whatever that they're pressing up hit a little bit harder, right? I think that's what it's for. So he was on codeine, promethazine, Xanax, obviously cut with fentanyl. And yeah, they're saying his death actually was really an accident. Oh, okay. They say he also had THC in the system, so he was smoking it. Yeah. So he was on some weed, lean Xanax. That sounds like the regular, like, back.
So as everybody knows, Diddy, aka the Diddler, he has finally been locked up. And it's been crazy ever since. I'm not gonna lie. Now, you feel me, he's in prison, or let me rephrase, jail, on suicide watch. You feel me? That's kind of a crazy life. You go from being a billionaire, mansions all over the world, having freak offs, you feel me, with women and men, you feel me, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Man, even though I do think Diddy is very, 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 very guilty, I want to ask one thing. If what Diddy did is considered sex trafficking, isn't like what every like high profile entertainer who like fly women from Instagram like all over just for sex trafficking as well? Like that's a question I just want to ask, you feel me? Because you gotta call a spade a spade. If Diddy's doing it, then you gotta look at almost every celebrity who does the same thing, or who throws big parties, and you feel me, women pull up and they do crazy freaky stuff at those parties, bro. Like, I don't know. So like, and I only asked that because I really sat there and thought to myself, like, man, I don't necessarily feel bad for Diddy, and I don't think Diddy is a good person. And I think he probably, when they really investigate deeper into Diddy, they're going to find way other stuff besides all this freak stuff that he probably did do. Man, this freaky stuff and all the allegations and stuff, like how you see all the executives and stuff stepping down. Diddy is coming, bro. No Diddy, but Diddy is coming. No Diddy. I think he's gonna expose everyone, and like labels are scared and they're trying to get rid of everyone and everything. If Diddy ends up like the dude, who's that one dude with the island who killed himself? If Diddy ends up like that, we should not sit there and act surprised. You feel me? But it's your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'd say pray for Diddy. Honestly, pray for Diddy, man. He probably needs it right now. He's probably fiending. Probably Meek Mill's on the phone with him, trying to keep him calm. Feel me? He's probably telling Meek Mill, send me some pics over. You feel me? I miss you. I like when you do it like that. But you feel me? It's your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I am out.